California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill on Monday that could require some fast food franchises to pay employees a minimum wage as high as $22 an hour. There is a concern that fast food prices could also rise. NTD's Jason Perry reports.
On Monday, California Governor Gavin Newsom delivered this message on Twitter.
At the same time, we recognize there's sectors of our economy where we're falling a bit short, and one of those areas is fast food workers. And I want to thank Assemblymember Holden in particular for AB 257 and all of his hard work, a bill that empowers our workers, particularly in that sector, giving them more voice, giving them more choice.
The bill will create a fast food council made up of 10 industry members. This group will establish minimum wage standards, working hours, and other working conditions for fast food restaurants in California with 100 or more locations. And beginning next year, fast food franchises could be required to pay employees a minimum wage of up to $22 per hour. And McDonald's USA President Joe Erlinger says it could drive up the cost of fast food in California by 20% at a time when Americans already face soaring costs in supermarkets and at gas pumps.
Giving people raises when they haven't done anything extra tells them that they don't have to do anything extra to get raises.
I spoke with Michael Busler, a professor of finance at Stockton University, who explained that $22 per hour is about a $45,000 per year cost for the businesses. He said this will most likely cause customers to pay more for fast food, and businesses will try to eliminate workers by adding machines and touchscreens to get the job done.
What we really want to do is say, look, there's opportunity for everybody here. Just figure out how to contribute more, and you'll be able to earn more. Don't depend on the government to raise your wages artificially.
We reached out to the office of California Governor Gavin Newsom for comment, but we didn't hear back before airtime. Jason Perry, NTD News.
A bill that could punish doctors who dissent from California's governmental messaging on COVID-19 has passed the state legislature. It's now on the governor's desk for his final signature of approval or veto.
The Medical Board of California, or MBC, could soon use discretionary power to discipline physicians or surgeons who spread, quote, misinformation or disinformation related to COVID-19. That's if Governor Gavin Newsom signs the recently passed Assembly Bill 2098. According to the legislature analysis, misinformation or disinformation would include false or misleading information about the virus, COVID-19 prevention and treatment, and the development, safety, and effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines. The MBC currently has the power to punish doctors charged with unprofessional conduct, including gross negligence, incompetence, dishonesty, or corruption. Dr. Michael Huang of Roseville says that the state is acting well beyond what it's designed to do. He says the bill will make it impossible to practice honest medicine, adding that what we knew about COVID 2 years ago is completely different than what we know now. However, the California Medical Association, a co-sponsor of the bill, says during the COVID-19 pandemic, quote, many health professionals, including physicians, have been the culprits of this misinformation and disinformation effort. Supporters of the bill argue that doctors have a professional and ethical obligation to counsel and treat patients based on medical guidelines and peer-reviewed scientific evidence, and quote, not on their own opinion or beliefs. But groups in opposition question the feasibility of implementing the bill, saying it violates the Constitution and people's freedom of speech. Governor Newsom has until September 30th to veto it or sign it into law.
In an ongoing campaign fight between the governors of California and Florida, a recent discovery has thrown a twist into the field, which may make Governor Gavin Newsom's Thanksgiving dinner a little awkward this year. Records show that the in-laws of the California governor have donated to the DeSantis campaign.
According to Transparency USA, financial records show that Governor Gavin Newsom's own in-laws made donations to Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis. That's after the two have traded political barbs in recent months over widely different state policy. On April 6, 2022, California's First Lady Jennifer Siebel's parents, Kenneth Jr. and Judith Siebel, who run a revocable trust, donated $5,000 to the Friends of Ron DeSantis PAC. According to the Fox News report, Kenneth Siebel is a registered Republican. It also indicated that he donated to Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson and Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. Back in March 2020, Fox News reported that the longtime California residents had purchased a home in Naples, Florida. The report also shared that the couple registered to vote in the Florida state 3 months later. In July of this year, Newsom created controversy over visiting his in-laws at their vacation ranch in Montana, which is on the state's travel ban list. California Assembly Bill 1887 restricts any state-funded travel to states that have enacted laws against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people.
California's Supreme Court agreed to review a lower court ruling concerning the state's three strikes laws.
The California Supreme Court agreed last week to review an important lower court ruling about the state's three-strike law. The ruling stated that state attorneys must follow the state's three strikes law after Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon told prosecutors to ignore it. He has refused to charge three strikes cases, which the lower courts found to be illegal. The three strikes law imposes increasing sentences based upon extra strikes. A second strike would double the sentence, and a third strike imposes a 25-year to life sentence. Strikes are applicable for violent crimes or other felonies. Gascon, who has faced controversy in the past for his decisions on prosecution, says that the laws, quote, have caused tremendous harm to our communities. The California Supreme Court will now review the lower court's decision. Bill Thomas, NTD News, California.
Los Angeles County is paving the way toward the end of Project Room Key. The project was a temporary pandemic-era homeless housing scheme.
The city of Los Angeles voted last week to end a temporary homeless housing initiative known as Project Room Key. The partner project to Project Home Key was spurred by COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. The scheme will have its remaining sites shut down and emergency housing vouchers revoked. Los Angeles County has demobilized 44 sites already. The City Council voted 11-0 to approve $2.9 million to facilitate the complete shutdown of the initiative. The Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, or LAHSA, originally requested $6.1 million for the demobilization. LAHSA co-chief executive Christina Dixon stated that there was, quote, still a need for additional funding in order to manage the demobilization. The city has spent over $350 million on its entire pandemic response, including Project Room Key. Bill Thomas, NTD News.
A penguin in one Southern California zoo is on a new leg of his journey with a pair of boots to help walk.
A penguin named Lucas had bumblefoot, a degenerative foot condition in birds. But thanks to a new pair of custom orthopedic boots, he waddles with more stability at the San Diego Zoo.
This started for him a couple of years back now, where he was very ill. On CT, we diagnosed discospondylitis, which is an infection in the discs down the spinal cord. And the inflammation around those infections impacted the spine. So he is just weaker with his nerves and his muscle control. So instead of being up like a normal penguin, he's down flat on what would be like our ankles.
Bickney says bumblefoot is a common diagnosis in birds. It usually means the bird has either a skeletal or a neurological problem that causes uneven weight distribution. For Lucas, a spinal injury caused him to walk flatter and lean to his left side.
Because of the way the shoes have been constructed, they're forcing him to walk a little bit differently. They're kind of moving him forward, so there's a little padding on the inside that forces his foot forward, so we see him actually moving his toes when he walks now, which is something we hadn't seen in years.
Lucas showed promising improvement in his waddle since being fitted with therapy boots in June.
One thing that's special about the Therapaw boots that we're using is they're very individual. It's like instead of taking like a size 9 off the shelf at the shoe store, these are geared specifically for him.
The boots are cushioned and velcroed in place, so Lucas can fully participate in the colony, climb rocks, swim, and nest. But Bickney said Lucas will always need to wear his therapy shoes.
I'm so excited that we've been able to do this for Lucas. Lucas was one of the first birds that I raised here at San Diego Zoo. So I've known him since he was an egg, and we are very attached to each other. So it warms my heart just to know that we've been able to do something to make him more comfortable.
For Denton, the most important thing is that Lucas now fits like a boot into the colony of penguins.